Hello, everyone. Welcome to Women Helping Women Networking. Today is the day on the 11th, February 11th, and we are hosting at Sister Salon and Spa, our Women Helping Women Networking event program, our community program. And so what we're going to talk about today is one of the topics that you had mentioned that you were interested in, and that was small business lending, how to grow your business through small business lending. So last month, I had some of you complete a questionnaire that had a couple of topics or things of interest that you wanted to have discussed at our monthly meetup group, Women Helping Women Networking. So I thought one of those topics that seemed to be very popular that a lot of you wanted to know about was small business lending, how to grow your business. So I'm going to share with you some information about the U.S. Small Business Administration lending program. Now, let me just make something clear. The U.S. Small Business Administration does not give loans. Okay, so let me make that a little clear for you. They do not give loans, but what they do is guarantee or back loans. So I'm going to share some information with you about that, and all of this will be posted on womenhelpingwomennetworking.com. That'll be posted on my website. I'll have all the information I'm going to go over with you right now, including the links as well to some of the information. So let's start off a little bit about explaining about the U.S. Small Business Administration. Now, all of you notice that in your paychecks every week or every month, how often you get paid, there's something called FICA, right? F-I-C-A, FICA. Those are your federal tax dollars. So your federal tax dollars pay for the USBA program. And so you, as a citizen who pays tax dollars, you have the right, you're entitled to use these services because your tax dollars pay for it. Okay, so take advantage of these programs because they are for free. There's some workshops or seminars, things like that, some educational programs. There may be a nominal fee, just to keep the lights on and things like that for maybe $25 or something like that. But for the most part, the counseling services, the support services, all of that is free because you already paid for it through your tax dollars. So let's talk about loans because I know that was something of interest for you guys. So many of you want to, start or expand or grow your business, right? And so the Small Business Administration has put together a program to help you be able to do that. So let me share with you some information about the SBA program. So the SBA works with lenders to provide small business loans. Now, the agency, as I mentioned before, doesn't lend money directly to small businesses, but instead they set the guidelines for loans made by its partnering lenders. So the SBA has partnered with banks or other institutions to provide loans specifically designed for small businesses. Some of these are community development organizations, banks, micro-lending institutions. So these are partners that help you be able to find funding sources, capital for your business. Now the SBA reduces the risk for lenders and makes it easier for you as a small business to gain access to capital. Because we know that for small business, particularly for startup businesses, you may not have all of the necessary information or the necessary collateral that you need to get started up and going in your business. So the SBA has developed these programs or these guidelines to make it easier for small businesses like Sister Salon and Spa and many of you that are out there to be able to access capital. So let's talk about some of the benefits. You may wonder, well, why should I take out an SBA loan? Well, let me share with you some of the benefits of a guaranteed loan. The SBA guaranteed loans have competitive services. Now, when I say guaranteed loan, let me explain that real quick for you before I go into the rest of the benefits. So in other words, depending on the type of industry you are in, the type of business that you have, you can apply for a small SBA loan that's backed by the federal U.S. government, SBA administration. So they basically, if you should default, if your business, unfortunately, if you default or it should fail or something of that nature, then the SBA will step in and pay up to a certain amount of your loan back. Sometimes you can get up to 90% backing of your loan. So that gives you confidence, and it gives the lender confidence as well, and they are more apt to loan you the money. Okay, so that's what it means by it's guaranteed. So the bank won't be out of their money. So they'll take a risk with you if it's backed by the SBA. Okay, so that's what it means by SBA guaranteed loans. The SBA does not give loans, they back them or guarantee them. Okay, so one of the benefits is competitive terms. The SBA guaranteed loans generally have rates and fees that are comparable to non-guaranteed loans. Also, you receive counseling and education. That's another benefit. What loan can you get from a traditional bank and you get free counseling and education? That doesn't happen. But some loans come with continued support to help you start and run your business. Also, another unique benefit is that you get lower down payments, flexible overhead requirements, and in some cases, no collateral will be needed. So those are some pretty good benefits to using an SBA lender because of some of the benefits that come with that. So the next question is, okay, so how do I find these lenders? Well, first of all, just to let you know, you can get as little as, you can borrow as little as $500 to $5.5 million to fund your business. 5.5 million. So anywhere from $500 to $5.5 million, you can go for it. And they could be used for various business purposes, including long-term fixed assets. So say you're a salon, right? And you have equipment, hair dryers and irons and things like that. Or if, say, you're cleaners and you have the press and the dryer, or you're a bakery and you have the ovens and things like that. These long-term fixed assets, you can use your loan to purchase items like that. Or maybe you want to purchase a building. You know, you can do it. You can get a loan for that as well. Also, you can use the money for operating capital, whether it's a mortgage or rent, equipment, computer, furniture, things like that. You can use this loan for things such as that nature. So you can use it for those two items. You could use it for working capital and for fixed assets. Now, the next question is eligibility. Well, how do I meet the eligibility requirements? Well, one, you have to be a for-profit business. This business has to be registered and legal with your local state. Also, you have to do business in the U.S. The business has to be physically located and operate in the U.S. and its territories. Also, you have to invest. You have to invest equity in your own business, right? So whether as a business owner, you want to invest either time or money or both, right? So they want to see that you're fully vested into your business and you're building equity. Also, you want to exhaust financing options. So this is not a bad thing. So say you go to the bank and you look for a traditional business loan and you get turned down. That's not a bad thing, because that's one of the things, one of the eligibility requirements, that you have exhausted all other financing options. So the business, they want to see that the business did try to get financing through other options. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So how do we find lenders? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So you're going to go to sba.gov, as in Sam, B as in boy, A as in apple, SBA.gov. You're going to go to the website and you're going to click on Find Lenders. And so you're going to fill out a little questionnaire. It's not the actual loan application. This is just a questionnaire to match you with lenders that may be interested in your services. So one, you're going to describe your needs. And so you're going to just answer a few questions about your business. It's going to take about 5 minutes. And it's going to give them a little background information about what you're looking for. And then you're going to get matched in 2 days. You're going to receive an email with contact information of lenders who express interest to give you a loan. And so that's very important that when you do that questionnaire, that you're as thorough as you can and give the information, because lenders are going to be looking this information over to see if you possibly could be a match for them. And then the third step is that you're going to talk to the lenders. You're going to compare rates and terms and fees and information like that. And then the fourth step is that the actual loan application. You're going to actually submit paperwork to get you on the way of securing a business loan. Now, there's some things you should be prepared for that they may ask you for. These lenders may ask you for some very basic information. One of the things they're going to ask you for is a business plan, right? Very typical. Most lenders expect a business plan when you apply for us, particularly for a startup funding. If you need to create one, you can check out on SBA.gov. They have a business plan guide. There's a lot of templates out there, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about where you can go to get some assistance on developing your business plan. But that's one of the things that the lender is going to look for, is a business plan. The next thing the lender is going to look for is the amount that you want to borrow and how you plan to use the funds. That's the second thing that they're going to look for. And so know how much capital you need and how it will be used for your business. You can't use it for something like flipping a house or something like that. You know, it has to be related, business-related reasons why you need this loan. So you might want to do it like a little budget, right? Do a budget with if you're purchasing a building, or if you're going to be paying rent, your equipment costs, all of your furniture, your materials and supplies, things of that nature. Have a budget so you know and I have an idea of how much you need to borrow, right? And how much it will take to operate your business for at least 6 months. You want to include at least 6 months of operating funds for your business. The next thing is going to, maybe the lenders are asked for, they're going to ask for your credit history. Again, don't be intimidated by that. If you have, your credit score may be shaky or not so good, it may be fair, but that's not a bad thing. So the lenders, they use credit to determine your credit risk and your interest rate. But again, the SBA helps guarantee some loans that you otherwise wouldn't qualify for. So maybe traditionally that bank requires maybe a 700 credit score. But if you go for an SBA loan, it only requires a 500 credit score. So don't be intimidated if your credit, don't be afraid not to try anyway. It's okay if you get turned down traditionally, because you still want to be able to qualify for the SBA loan. The next thing that they may ask for, the lender, they may ask for financial projections. So they want to know that you understand your business finances. They want to know how the funds will be used and how you plan to pay it back. Okay, so you want to be prepared for that. And again, you can talk to a small business counselor, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can do that. Another thing that they may ask for is collateral. Many lenders require that you use another asset to guarantee your loan. And that could be your home, it could be your car, it could be inventory or some other property. And let me talk to you a little bit about this. You have to be willing as an entrepreneur to take a risk. It is a risk. And so if you're not willing to risk something that you can guarantee as collateral, the banks may not be willing to take a risk on you or the SBA. So you would think about it. You're asking for a bank and the SBA to take a risk on you. So that means you have to come to the table and have something to offer as collateral as a risk as well. So you have to be willing to do that. So don't be afraid to take a risk on your dream, on something big that you want to do for you and your family. So the next thing that they may ask for is industry experience. The lenders want to know, it's not required, because this could be something new that you're going into, something new that you're starting. That's okay. So the next thing is that you want to maybe have your resume prepared, have a statement of some information about your expertise, your background, the research that you've done on starting this business. So they want to know the firsthand knowledge about the industry that you're about to embark on. So again, all of these things will be on the website, okay? So let me talk to you a little bit more about what's next. After you receive this email and you start talking to these lenders, there's a couple of questions, things you might want to think about that you want to ask some of these lenders. Of course, you want to ask about the interest rate. You want to ask about the minimum credit score. What's the cash flow requirements? And any other qualifying factors. Understand the prepayment penalties, grace periods. Understand if they can demand full repayment of the loan principal. Okay, so these are kind of questions that you want to have prepared in advance when you start having these discussions with some of these lenders, because this will help you choose the right lender for you. They're going to ask you also about some personal information. That's okay, because they want to connect you to the right lender. So when you fill out that registration form, don't be a little intimidated by that. Go ahead, fill it out so you can get the right match. Now, how many lenders participate? There's more than 800 lenders that participate throughout the 50 states of the United States territories. So you're bound to get matched with somebody, with someone, for sure. And also, you can learn more about these loans online through SBA.gov. But also, I want to talk to you about the SBDC. Now, the SBA, they fund development centers that will help you through this process. So they have all kinds of workshops on writing a business plan, startup businesses, all the kind of information you would need. This is really important. Again, your tax dollars pay for this free information. Go to your local SBDC office, Small Business Development Center, and get this information. Now, the one that's local to us right here in the Poconos is the Scranton office. The University of Scranton has a Small Business Development Center office. I've been there. It's a great office, very friendly staff. They'll give you some good information. You can call them and schedule it. Again, I'll put this information on the website for you. Now, one of the things, they have some great upcoming events. Now, one of the events that are that's coming up, they have what they call First Step, and that is how to start a business. They have another workshop coming up called Women's Entrepreneurship Center. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that. They also have ServeSafe, Food Safety Certification Class and Exam Program. So they have a lot of good information going on. So let me talk to you a little bit about the Women's Entrepreneurship Center. Now, they have an event that's happening on February 21st at 8:30 a.m. to 9:30. Doesn't cost anything. It's called Women's Entrepreneurship Center, Coffee and Confidence. And this is really a nice program. This program consists of, it's a startup information, guidance, and encouragement to low-income women, those in transition, or those trying to start or make a better life for themselves and their families. And so they offer individual confidential counseling and programs like this, Coffee and Confidence. It's a 1-hour inspiration session and startup. It's a 6-week series. It walks all the participants through the whole process of starting a business. So take advantage of this program. Again, this one is happening 21st. Coffee and Confidence, and it's a program on leadership development and a program on how to help you get your business up and going, and any kind of counseling that you need. So I think that covers it. We talked a lot about all the things that you would need to do. There's different types of loans. I'm not going to really get into the different types of loans because we'll be talking more and more. But if you take advantage of your Small Business Development Center, they will go into the different types of loans. I'm going to post those on my Women Helping Women Networking website so you can get all that great information too. So it was great that you guys joined us today. I will be posting what our next program is going to be next month, but please reach out and let me know so we can discuss more things that will help us as women business owners to grow and develop our business. Please join us and come out to Sister Salon and Spa at 2 Fork Street in Mount Pocono. We have some great community programs, and also we have some great services, obviously, right? Some beautiful salon services, our massage therapy services, our skincare and makeup as well. We have our esthetician services from eyelashes to eyebrows to waxing, all of those great things. So please join us, and you're going to be hearing about some great things that's going to be happening at Sister Salon and Spa. So thank you for supporting us always. You guys are always great coming out and supporting our events, and continue to visit my website. Definitely visit sistersalonspa.com. Visit us on social media, and definitely visit my website at womenhelpingwomennetworking.com and see about any information about growing and networking your business. We're always interested in helping supporting business in the community. So have a great day.